If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there. ¿Qué pasa to the Pack? It is Pack here. So, prediction time. I am the roster YouTuber of 2K on YouTube, right? Yeah. So I think it's right to do a prediction video of who's going to be the 10 best players in the NBA rating-wise for NBA 2K22. I think I have a pretty good idea what it's going to be. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so I think I get a rough estimate. But before this video starts, please be an OG, join the pack, and subscribe. Help me get to 300,000 subscribers, and leave a like on the video because it helps the channel out more than you could ever imagine. And now let me give you a breakdown of why I'm picking specific people, okay? So I'm not changing ratings up too much from the year before. Like, nobody's gonna get a crazy difference of a rating, either like one up or one down. And I have to find any excuse possible to bring someone up or down, because they always change it every year, and they always feel like the dumbest, smallest reasons. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm sorry if I downgrade your favorite player, but I'm finding the tiniest reason to downgrade him, okay? So at number 10 on the list this year, I think this one's pretty obvious for the most part. That's going to be Damian Lillard. He's going to stay at a 94 overall. I thought about downgrading him and he would have been tied with Anthony Davis, but I was like, let's just keep it at 94. His playoff performance was insane. They lost, but he did amazing, averaging 35 points and shooting, I think it was like 44% from three. Like, there's no reason to downgrade him when he's this good. You could even argue he probably deserves an upgrade, but because he's not winning and winning matters in 2K ratings, I can't upgrade him. So I'm going to keep Dame at a 94, and realistically, if he was on a better team, it probably would be higher, if we're just being real. Okay, so at number 9, it's James Harden. So even though he's a 95 right now, I think he's going to go down to a 94. And that's not because I think James Harden is worse or anything. In fact, he had one of his better seasons last year, and he was even in the conversation for MVP for a little bit during the year. But because there's so much talent on this team, it's unrealistic to have two people at such a high rating for so long. So I think James Harden goes down because we're comparing him to Kevin Durant. But still, that might change throughout the year, because the thing is, when all these three played together, when Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant played together at the same time, James Harden's stats were the ones that went down, and I think it's going to contribute to his rating in 2K, I think. So now at number 8, Luka Doncic. He's going to go up to a 95 overall from a 94. He's going to go +1. The reason I believe that is because he's a cover athlete, and also he's pretty damn good at basketball. Both of those. And he had great play in the Olympics as well. All those things together, it just makes the most sense for him to go up. Again, he's a cover athlete. They always get a boost in rating, like always. So because that's the case, I think it's pretty obvious that Luka Doncic is going to go up, and he's going to be 95 overall, making him at least the 8th to the 6th best player in the league. At number 7 on the list, we have Joel Embiid. He's going to stay at a 95 overall. Now, Joel Embiid's reasoning is pretty simple. He was in the MVP conversation. He's one of the most dominant centers in the NBA. Like, all this stuff is stuff we already knew. And on top of it all, it's freaking Joel Embiid. Look, the only reason I think this is because he's still going to put up amazing stats next season. They're still going to use him like they used him last year. And Ben Simmons might be gone too, because they might trade him. And then you get a point guard that can shoot. And now there's spacing for Joel Embiid. And now he just dominates even more. So I wouldn't even be surprised if his rating goes up next season, if we're being real. Okay, so maybe the first controversial one. At number 6, it is Kawhi Leonard. I have him at a 96 overall, but I think he's going to go down to a 95. Now, Kawhi Leonard is one of the most dominant two-way players in the NBA right now, puts up video game stats every single year, while also stopping anybody, literally anybody in the NBA, maybe the best perimeter defender in the league, right? But this man gets injured a lot, and you can't rely on somebody when they're getting injured. Look at Anthony Davis. He was a 95 overall at the start of last year because he freaking won a championship as a second option, but because he gets injured all the time, they put him down to a 93. And I think the same thing is going to happen to Kawhi. He's going to go down to a 95 overall. He's still really good. He's still freaking the 6th best player in the league, but he's going to go down to a 95 overall, I feel. So at number 5 on the list, it's pretty obvious. The MVP of the NBA, Nikola Jokic, 96 overall. He's going to stay the same rating. I mean, you don't downgrade the MVP of the league. He doesn't go up because, again, the playoffs, they didn't do well because they didn't have Jamal Murray. But still, at the end of the day, I'm trying to find an excuse to not upgrade him. He's still an amazing player. He's still the best center in the NBA. It's still obvious. But 96 overall just seems like the correct rating for Nikola Jokic. And there's nothing giving me a reason to downgrade him or upgrade him at all. So I don't see 2K changing that at all. Okay, at number 4 is Steph Curry from a 97 overall down to a 96. And even though I really didn't want to downgrade him at all, because I really don't think he probably should be downgraded, at the end of the day, the team didn't make the playoffs, and when you don't make the playoffs, they're going to judge you pretty hard. Even though it's not your fault, it's obviously not Steph Curry's fault, they're still going to downgrade you. I mean, name me another time a 97 overall didn't make the playoffs. Like, name me another time. It doesn't happen, right? So he's going to get downgraded. Now, the next roster that happens when they're a good team with this roster, it's going to go up again. But still, it doesn't make sense for Curry to be the best player rating-wise in the NBA like he was this year when they can't even make the playoffs. So it's going to happen. He's going to go down 1 to become the 4th best player in the NBA, I think. At number 3 on the list, it is Kevin Durant. He's going to go up from a 96 to a 97. Now, I know I said a lot of things about injuries, and Kevin Durant's been injured, but when he played in the playoffs, he played amazing. He is Kevin freaking Durant. He is, on paper, you could argue, the best player in the league. At a 97 overall +1 would put him as where he probably should be. He's been top 2 player in the league for years now, LeBron. Especially after that Olympics performance. Like, we're on a high with Kevin Durant right now, and putting him anything below a 97 in contention for the best player, it just feels like blasphemy to him, right? At number 2, as the 2nd best player in the NBA, LeBron James, 97 overall. Now, anybody watching this is saying,
Pack, are you saying that LeBron James isn't the best player in basketball?
Which he has been for what? Like 16 years now, like straight at least. I know it's kind of debatable, and I know it's controversial to put a 36-year-old great, maybe best player of all time, below someone else, but I'm not changing his rating. A 97 overall is exactly where LeBron James needs to be. He has, if you look at him statistically, he has been as good as he's ever been in his career. He's still amazing, but the team struggled last year because of injuries. He struggled last year because of injuries, and it's just, there's no reason to upgrade him from last year because there's literally no reason to upgrade him. Does that make sense? So I've been given no reason to, I think he's going to stay there, but I think one player is going to get this right to be the best player in basketball, and I think you know who it is. At number 1, it is Giannis. So I believe Giannis is going to go from a 96 to a 98 overall +2. Now I know a 98 overall, there's very few players in basketball history that have ever gotten that right. We're talking Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and like Bill Russell and Wilt, and like that's it, right? Like 98 overall is an honor. It is a rating that very few people in history will ever get, right? But let's be real. This man just won a championship. He won a Finals MVP, and you know that 2K gives people really high ratings after they at least make the finals. So, for example, a guy like Jimmy Butler, who was like an 87 overall, and then they made the finals. The next year, they made him a 92 overall. I mean, that's for making the finals. This man won a championship and became Finals MVP. And let's be real, he's the dominant player of our era right now on both ends of the floor, and is even expanding his game by shooting open threes. I mean, Giannis is just broken, and I think this rating is going to contribute into that. Now, I know that his rating would make him the best player in basketball. Whether or not he is the best player in basketball over LeBron or KD, that's a different conversation. But rating-wise, talent-wise, 98 overall, I think is fair. It's fair for a man that just won a championship and looked like the best player in basketball. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? I know it's a little controversial, so just be honest in the comments. Let's talk about it. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this channel, please give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time. If you want all the latest news of NBA 2K and also NBA in general, you should follow me on my Twitter account at PackHoopsYT. Not only that, I do giveaways all the time when it comes to VC, games, and also even consoles. So check it out, follow me, and see you there.